All right, what's up, everybody? It's happening. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Rob. You broke the stream again.
Did I break it? What the fuck, then? What did I do, everybody? I didn't test it, that's
They
why.
can read our Discord
Yeah,
conversation where I said, not a vagina.
yeah. That was a picture of my Belobi sandwich that I said, not a vagina. All right, let's just calm down. Let's figure out what happened.
You can call me not a vagina. It looks
Yeah,
like I'm telling you not to call me a vagina.
it does look like
Like
that.
our conversation out of context.
Why? Oh,
Rob,
I
please
know,
stop
the
calling me a
Discord. There we
vagina.
go. Now here's me not big enough again. That's what my prom date said. Hello.
Giggity.
All right, hold on. Let me figure this out. Uh, that's almost big enough. Again, prom
What's
date.
up, chat? How's everybody doing?
There we go. I
Hopefully,
think we're good.
everybody's having a good night.
What's up, chat? What's up, Winak? What's up, Gorg Jorshwin? It's hard to say.
Gorg Jorshwin.
Gorg Jorshwin.
Is it Gorg or is it
Mm-hmm.
George?
It's a play on George Gershwin. So you got to
Oh,
reverse it. So it's Gorg Jorshwin.
Gorg
It's
Jorshwin.
Gorg.
Okay, got it. Got it.
And who else is here? Pipe up, everybody.
Yeah. What's
Before we
up?
get into the
What's up?
heavy
What's up? What's up? What's
conversation
up? What's
about
up? I know, right?
God knows what.
Well, hopefully not politics this time because
Yeah.
that
I
didn't
wonder.
go over so well last
Hey,
time.
Nick's Tui 2024. We know what's up.
Next Dewey
If you
2024.
mix
Yeah.
lemon lime and fruit punch, does it? I think the flavor you get when you do that is spilled. That's the name of the flavor what you get.
It's fruit punch. It's fruit punchade.
Hey, Sandman, what's
Because you
up?
know how, like, when you drink, limeade, it's like lemon lime. It's limeade. So it would be fruit punch aid. You said
Got it.
lemonade, right?
I
I
mean,
don't
it
know.
makes as much sense to me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Ooh, vagina flavor. Gorg George says.
it's
Hey, what's up,
vagina
George
flavored.
Orr? Sandman?
Yes, I would argue it's still the fruit punch. You just added more fruit. I see. That makes sense.
Yeah,
But
but
I think
lemon.
the reason I said the name of the flavor would be spilled is because if I did it like this, there'd be trouble. You gotta
When I
mix
was
them.
really little, my parents had like 4 acres of lemon orchard. It was very small. 4 acres is not a lot, everybody out there. But lemons as far as the eye could see.
Yeah.
So I am a very strange person and I like to eat lemons straight. Like just peel it and eat it.
You
Because
mean
I
a whole
I
lemon,
grew
or
up with so many.
not
Yeah,
just
like
not
just like
just
eat
suck
it
on a
like an
wedge?
orange.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
But I do not like lemonade, like, at all. I don't like lemonade.
Too much
I
sugar.
think it's gross. It's super gross.
You don't
It's
like the
just
sugar.
gross.
You like the
Yeah, I mean,
tartness
I
of the
don't really
lemon.
like a lot of sugar. I like a soda. I'll drink a soda. That's about as much like sugar I can consume in one go. I don't eat a lot of candy. I don't eat a lot of like desserty things.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I don't like
I don't like
it.
it.
So how was your day then?
Really long and
Oh, was
shitty.
it? I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a bad day.
Yeah. It's all good though. My
Well,
day's better now.
you're always happy to know that I did not get a nap.
Oh, no nap. Oh, but look, I did slice my thumb open.
What? Really?
Can you see my little
I
band-aid?
see your band-aid. How did you do that? Cooking?
No, feeding my fucking dog. So, we feed him these like little tray. It comes in like a little tray. It's like wet dog food, right?
Yeah.
And you open the tray and like the little foil part on top of it just sliced my thumb open. So I like bled all over the kitchen counter. I was like,
Oh
motherfucker.
no.
Yeah, it sucked.
What up, bitches? Caesar's here. What up?
Hey, Caesar's here. Yeah, I was
Um,
really mad because I had just cleaned the kitchen too and like bleached the counters. I was like, God damn it. I just like bled everywhere. I was really mad.
Uh, so, what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say something
Oh
about
yeah,
what you
how
were.
was your day?
Oh, my day was all right. We published a thing, and I
You
did some
did.
spreadsheets, and I talked to some girls, but I don't
Did you
know.
know?
Yeah, and
Let's talk about that.
she might some girl on, I think I met her on Tinder, but then she had me go to Instagram, and then she said, I'm watching Netflix, and I said, oh, I'm about to do my show, and she's like, what's that? And I gave her she goes, give me the URL. So she might be here. I don't know. I don't know if she's in the
Oh
chat.
snap!
Yeah, if she's here, her name is
No, don't call her out by her name.
no,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I won't. But I'll let her know that I know it's her. Well, I mean, who else is gonna be? It's just the one person.
Well,
Um,
hello,
yeah.
friend.
Hi, friend.
That's awesome.
And then what else did I do today? Stuff. I was gonna go out to eat to get something to eat, but I ran
Weenak
out.
says it's me.
Is it
I'm sorry.
Winak? What are your initials, Winak? And then I'll know if you're lying or not. Tell me your first and last initials. Then I'll know.
Dun dun
Um.
dun. A B C D.
Oh my God, it's her. No. Her first. I only know the first initial. Actually, I don't know what her last name is. Anyway, then I woke up and I had like super bad dreams. I usually don't do that, but I had super bad dreams that were not
You've been
like
hanging out with me
monstery.
too much.
They weren't
I always have bad
monstery or
dreams.
scary. They were bad dreams like Trump won the election and
Oh.
then which is okay, why is that a nightmare? But then like all the shit that happened because of it, and I woke up like I couldn't breathe. And
Well, put a pin in that thought. Not to cause you more bad dreams, but do you know it's statistically more likely to happen that the incumbent wins re-election than
yes, it is.
like
Yes, I do know that, but I'm hoping we can't trust statistics in this case because all the shit that's happening right now is pretty much unprecedented. It's never been happening the exact way.
well I mean, we've had pandemics and outbreaks before.
Right, but they weren't
Ne-
mishandled. They
we
weren't mishandled back in the day.
well
No?
look, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm just saying, like, American government in general. I'm waiting to see if the FBI is at my door. The American government in general isn't that good. Like historically, isn't that good. I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah,
But
but it's never been as bad as it is. Okay, enough said. Now,
okay.
I'm going to make a prediction. Doesn't have anything to do with that. I'm going to make a prediction. People, this is going to upset people. Get ready, everybody. So, Disney is going to release Mulan and Black Widow and probably a few other movies only on streaming, not in the theater, right? So my prediction is by 2022, every movie theater streaming service will go to that method and movie theaters are going to disappear. Movie theaters are going to
Mhm.
be like the drive-in. They're going to be like a specialty thing. And I'm predicting that within 2 years, that's it, and that's it.
I think
That's my
it'll
prediction.
take longer for them to die out because, like, think about it this way. Look at, like, drive-in movie theaters. There's still some,
There's still some, but they're
in some
specialty. Yeah.
places.
It's like a
Right. They're
kitschy
not
thing to do.
dead. Yeah. But they did suffer greatly when, VHS and that kind of stuff became popular.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think movie theater or, movie theaters will die, but I do agree. I think they'll become a kitschy thing to do.
What's up, McClancy? Yeah, the thing is that their movie theaters' profit margins aren't that big. And if even a small fraction of their normal audience disappears, they'll just go right out the business in like a month.
Yeah. That's why sodas cost like $12
Yeah.
and popcorn's like $20. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Because
crazy.
that's actually how they make their money. They don't make that much money off of ticket sales. They make their money out of concessions. Which is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Oh yeah, online K through college by 2050. Yeah, that's probably a thing too.
Oh yeah.
Because online education's been a thing for more than 20 years already. Just not widely used.
Dude, I don't like homeschooling my kids. I know you don't have children, so you can't really. My dog is crying. I'm sorry. So you can't really like commiserate with me on this, but like I understand it's safer for my kids to stay home. I'm thankful that we have that luxury to even do that because some people can't. But holy fucking shit, I am not a teacher for a reason. I didn't go to school to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So I don't like all this fucking school
I
at
can
home
commiserate
shit.
though. You think I can't commiserate with you, but I can because I too feel that I want to be around children as little as possible. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I love my kids, don't get me wrong. But so like my older son, he's starting 8th grade this year. And like I was pretty smart, I was almost valedictorian. And sometimes I look at his homework and I'm like, I don't remember this shit, or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Wait a minute.
he's
So
only in 8th grade.
were you salutatorian?
Yes,
You
salutatorian.
were.
Yes.
So you don't tell people you were salutatorian. You say I was almost valedictorian.
Right, because that sounds better. And it was only by a 10th of a percent too. And it was my best friend who was valedictorian.
Oh, really?
So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What a bitch.
Yeah, it was all right. I had to give her like introductory and now the valedictorian at our
Did you
graduation.
speak at graduation?
Yeah, of course I did.
I think, I mean, I know who our valedictorian was, but I think I know who the salutatorian was. I don't remember her speech though.
Yeah, nobody remembers that. That's why you don't say, "Oh, I was salutatorian." You say, "I was almost valedictorian," because people remember the valedictorian.
Yeah, and I don't. And the valedictorian, whom I saw as recently as 5 years ago, I was at her house. I don't remember anything she said though. I remember her. I see the image of her standing up there, but I don't remember a word she said. It was probably some bullshit about go out and be a good adult.
Right.
Take
That
the
was
world
my
by
friend.
The balls and pull it down.
My friend Kelly Pierce was our valedictorian, and she gave a speech about being awesome. Because you have to remember, right when I graduated, it was like right before the housing market crisis. The housing market crashed like the very next year or like a year and a half later. So like shit was crazy back then, okay? But anyways, okay, I digress.
What year did you graduate high school? 2007?
06.
God.
Yeah. 06.
When I graduated high school, just never mind.
Just never mind.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was in the theaters when I graduated.
I'm not a baby. That really irks me when people are like, "You're a baby." I am 32 years old. In what universe is the person who's 32 years old a baby? Like, explain that one to me.
The universe, I'm going to explain to you right now. The universe in which a 32-year-old is a baby is when that universe is filled with 55-year-olds. That's what universe. I'm 54.
But I just don't see it that way. You know what a baby is to me? My baby. He's 2.
Yeah.
He's a baby. That's a baby to me.
No, that's not a baby. That's an infant. That's a fetus.
Technically, he's a toddler.
Wedge, they don't have graduation in Australia?
Some of us are old enough to be your parent. That's okay. But even if that's true, though, I'm not a baby. I don't know why it bothers me so much. Usually I'm really thick skinned.
I'm gonna get.
I don't know. I'm not a baby.
Shut up, you're a baby. I'm gonna get Wedge's opinion on my Australian accent. Okay, you
Oh,
ready? Here we
do it.
go. It's that time of the month for my girlfriend. I'm about to go in the house. The trick is not to open my mouth. Okay, I need that graded.
I bought it.
Yeah, but Wedge is an actual Aussie, so he'll tell me if that's good or not. This is how I learned to do an Australian accent. If you want to say good day like they do in Australia, just pretend that you're speaking to a batter who didn't swing at a bad pitch. Good eye, good eye. It's the same. Good eye, mate. Oh, you're from
Speaking
Texas?
of
Well, what's this Australia shit? You're 5 out of 10. What the fuck? Stream's over.
5 out of 10. I didn't think it was terrible. Speaking of baseball, do you watch baseball? Are you a baseball person?
I'm generally not. I'll watch the World Series, but I did turn on a game the other day to see the empty stadium, and it was a hideous freak show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not even
So
watchable.
I love baseball. I think that has been established many times before.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the Giants play the Dodgers last week, so old news. But anyways, I was watching the Giants play the Dodgers, and I thought it was really cool. In the stands, instead of having people there, they sold tickets anyways, and anybody who bought a ticket, I think they were season pass tickets, but season ticket holders. They got a cutout made of themselves, and they put the cutouts in the stand, and then they donated some of the proceeds from those ticket sales to like charity. But I thought it was really cool. So like they were, they would show like pitcher, they would show the field, and there's like a sea of cutouts, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I was watching the White Sox play 2 or 3 days ago. I don't remember who they were playing. I didn't get to watch the whole game. And they did the same thing. And so I was just wondering how many other baseball, because I don't watch like every team. I
Yeah,
don't give a
I
shit
think that's
about.
what they're doing. Messy Fresh says he loves the Wednesday show. You might be biased, sir. You might be biased. He's here for me. I know that. I mean,
Oh yeah, he's
yeah,
totally here for
Robin,
you.
Robin's husband is here to watch me. Because he's got,
Hello.
it's enough of her already, 24 hours a day.
I know. He's probably sick of me.
No one can get sick of you. Come on now.
Well, you don't live with me, so.
Well, that's true.
And I bother him about the dumbest shit too. I'm like, hey, something's wrong with my laptop. Can you fix it? And it's like something stupid. And he fixes it for me because he's awesome. But like that has to get, because our kids do it to him too. Oh my God, Dad, the Xbox isn't working. Can you fix it?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm sure he gets sick of this.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My girlfriend probably gets it. Honey, do you want to come in here and say hi? Just I keep asking. She never wants to come on. Yeah, there's nobody there. That person I'm yelling at doesn't exist. The couch isn't comfy. What is happening?
He said he never gets sick of me.
I also never get sick of sleeping in my bed.
AKA, he wouldn't dare to say he gets sick of me in the case of needing
that you would
to
make him
sleep
on the couch because it's not comfy. Got it.
Right. But I have never, ever, in 10 years of us being together, I have never told him to sleep on the couch. In fact, we very rarely fight, but there have been 2 instances that I can remember where we were angry at each other, and I voluntarily slept on the couch.
Oh, there you go.
Probably because I was the one in the wrong, but
they're by definition, every girlfriend I ever had is a bitch now because they're not with me anymore. But I was really fond of all of them, and one of them had this really good technique. Whenever we would get into an argument, she would go, you know what? Let's fight about this tomorrow. And then I, for some reason, would go, okay. And then all the times that ever happened, this whatever fight it was just never ever continued. I would literally forget the next day. I think she knew that about me. She goes, you won't remember this.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
I'm also the same way. I don't like being angry in general, so I don't hold on to things for very long. And like 20 minutes later, I'm like, this is stupid. Why are we fighting? Or, whatever. We don't fight very much, like, at all. So
I'm a
it kind of
lover, not a
works.
fighter. Yeah, Belle, you're right. That's the joke, is I'll do that 1,000 times, and then one day someone will come around that corner and go, yeah, okay, what's up? That'll be funny.
That was, oh my gosh. Like, I can't
It's,
wait to see that day.
it's going to happen
Make it happen,
someday.
Rob.
It's going to
Make it
happen.
happen.
Make it happen.
What were we
Scuba
talking about?
says,
We
I
were
like
talking
to
about baseball.
Yeah, we're talking about baseball. I like to strip naked in the middle of an argument. It's hard to continue the argument with someone
Oh
is
my
naked.
god.
That's a great. That's
Let me
great.
file that one away for later. And filed.
It's filed right here, but I'll forget it tomorrow.
Nope. I'm totally going to use it.
Okay.
I'm going to pick a fight just to use it. Oh shit. Is Messi still in the chat?
Just to use it. It's awkward at work, but I haven't been fired yet. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
So what's everybody else up to? Let's see. What is this? The beginning of August, right?
Yes, beginning of August.
And other than the obvious, what is happening, people? What is happening? Did everybody see on the stream the 2 days ago when we did that? Were you all watching the network get together when I held up my copy of it's Marvel Supper Heroes. You get together and you have a meal. Marvel Supper Heroes. Called.
Supper. No, supper has 2 P's, honey.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
You want to fight about it? Take your shirt off.
Well, I'm not going to do that with you.
Oh, I thought that applied. He does it at work. Well, Scuba does it at work.
Yeah, but it's different for men. You can take your shirt off and not go to jail in public.
Oh, well, I would probably go to jail. Cryptic Industries, that is how a 4th kid happens.
Oh, no, we can't have any more kids. We fixed that on both ends. So, not happening.
Now, when you say both ends, I'm concerned that you don't know how sex works.
I meant, like, he can't make children and I can't make children.
Right.
So, it's physically impossible for us to make children.
It just sounded funny the way you said it. We can't. There's no such thing as butt babies. Yes, there is.
Butt babies. Oh my god, that's funny.
Hey, I have a question. He's right, isn't he? So Wedge Antilles typed in the chat, we started teaching this past Monday, PASSED. That is correct, isn't it? It's not PAST.
No, it's PAST.
Is it? Because the Monday's already passed, Robin.
Yes, but when you're speaking of it, I don't know the words, but it's PAST Monday, I promise you.
Well, then now I'm upset because he's a teacher. Monday.
As in something that has already passed. Well, fuck. Now I don't know.
I'm very upset, everybody.
I was quite certain.
I was quite certain as well, and now I need to know.
Oh, motherfucker.
This past Monday means the Monday that occurred in the past. The past refers to a distance of time, whereas past, PASSED, refers to an action such as the dog has passed you. Oh, Wedge. You just got shot down, buddy.
He said, I'm a math teacher, not an English teacher. That's hilarious. Yeah, so it is this past Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
PAST, because past is a measurement of fucking time.
Right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like,
because if you were going to say the future Monday, that's still, even though future is a noun, it's still, you can still use it as an adjective.
Yes.
In regards to a day of the week.
So what caused my brain to do that is oh, are you watching? I'll say to her. She's texted me the show, haha. I don't know what that means. So what caused me to think of that was my friend and I last night, we were going over like the 50 most misused phrasings, like people say doggy dog world.
Irregular. Or no, not irregular. Irregardless. That's the
Robin,
I was thinking.
You'll be happy to know
that one drives me nuts.
That as of 2020, the Oxford Dictionary, irregardless is now an accepted form of the word.
Gross.
And I have to move to Canada. because fuck all that. And also, my aunt, for the longest time, my aunt would bother me. She says, anyways, like, anyways, I gotta go. And then I told her one time, you you know that's anyway, right? And she goes, look it up. And I did, and anyways is in the dictionary, and then I had to move to Mexico. Yes.
No, gross.
And it is gross.
I do
And
hate
so what
that
I
word.
told her is I said, it may be correct, but anybody that says that still sounds like a stupid person.
Irregardless. What a
Irregardless.
dumb word. What a dumb word.
It is dumb, innit?
It's all like you don't have to add a negative onto the front of it. It already is a negative word. It ends in LESS, regardless. What the fuck?
Messi says, looks like I found some fuel for the pending fight tonight. That's great. Oh, shit. It's shit.
Guess I'll be getting naked later. I
Yeah.
mean, what?
You use
What are
both
we
techniques.
doing?
That technique and my ex-girlfriend. You get naked and then you say, let's fight about this tomorrow. And there.
Oh,
and then-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
So, flammable, inflammable.
George
word.
Orr, so it's true, irregardless of how I feel about it, anyways.
It's a double negative. Yeah.
With the S on anyway.
What did I learn when I was looking at all those yesterday?
Oh my god, Messi, I'm gonna dick slap you from over here.
Don't know how that would work.
Kapow!
So yeah, people misuse a bunch of phrases,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden I can't think of anything.
I know. I think of them all the time. My kids say hurted. Like, oh, I got hurted. You know,
Oh,
my
well, yeah,
littler ones.
misconjugation is, if that's a word, I just made it up.
It is a word.
That's a common little kid thing though, right? Because you're learning,
I
you're
guess.
learning, and then they apply a rule that isn't necessarily true.
I've corrected him a million times.
That's
Aiden.
That's why I
The
couldn't.
past tense of hurt is hurt. And he's like, huh?
That's why I could never be a teacher, because I'm only willing to tell a person something once.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so done with COVID. I want school to go back to normal.
Caesar, I get crazy first annual. I get crazy about shit like that. Like when they'll say so like the first the so oh god, I can't even, I get so frustrated I can't even articulate how bad. So like 19
You can do it.
1970 was the first Earth Day. So 2020 they were saying the 50th Earth Day, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's the 51st Earth Day.
Mhm.
You don't know how to use math. And then
Oh,
people
yeah.
I couldn't explain, and people were like, what are you talking about? 2020 minus 1970 is 50. I'm like, you don't understand. That's not right. And then I would do this in my stand-up act. It was so hilarious. I would get a girl up on stage, and I would say, how many numbers from 1 to 10? And they would go 10. And I would go, very good. And I'd go, how many numbers from 10 to 20? And they would go 10. And I go, no, it's not. It's not 10. It's 11.
11.
And then I go, watch. And then I would go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then the audience would scream, and she would scream, and they would all go, you're doing a trick. And I go, okay, let's have you do it. And then she would go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. How did you do that? It was hilarious. It was just so funny.
God. Caesar brought up a good one. First annual.
Yeah, first
Is
annual.
that what you were
which isn't
talking
a thing.
about?
It's not
Okay,
a
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. It can't be annual if it's the first one.
Right.
Unless it's the second year you're holding it, thus making it the first annual, because now it's happened twice on the same day
Right.
every year. I don't know. I don't like that one either. It's weird.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Oh, Bell's like your rant on Facebook, PST and PT. So I'm on a lifelong.
It shouldn't even be PT. It should be PST or PDT.
Oh, but Robin, no. Let me explain to you why.
Oh my God.
I've been on a mission since I was 13 years old. So
Okay.
Daylight saving, by the way, saving, not savings, everybody.
Yes,
There's no fucking
singular.
S. That comes around twice a year. And most people know, on that Sunday you got to put your clock back or ahead at 2 in the morning, right? So most people know. But sometimes, like in my 50 some years of life, I've woken up on one of those days and got, oh, I forgot that was happening. I totally forgot. And also, you might live in an area where, like in Hawaii or Arizona, where they don't do that. But my thing is, if you put the S for standard or D for daylight in between the letters, like for Pacific it's PST, for Eastern it's EST, right? But if you just take out that letter, then you'll never be wrong, because no matter if it's daylight saving or standard time, if you just say PT, Pacific time, or if you say ET, Eastern time, or Mountain time, or Central time, if you just take that middle letter out, you will never ever screw it up. And so my mission is to tell people, do it this way, because then you can't make a mistake. Okay, so now, but what?
But there are some places in some time zones that do not use daylight saving time.
Right.
So when it's daylight saving time, even if you say mountain time, they may not technically be mountain time at that point in time because of daylight saving time.
Yeah, but when I lived in Arizona for 10 years, no daylight saving time.
Right.
We always just said mountain time.
But then at some point you were not on the same time as mountain time if they were in daylight saving time.
Oh yeah. So we would say Pacific time.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm getting at.
Right. But still, when you're writing it out, Arizonans during that 6 months of the year are going to write PT, not
I didn't know that.
not MT or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, just don't live in Hawaii and Arizona. Problem solved. There you
go. Yes.
Also, don't live anywhere outside the United States.
You know what I hate? I hate time zones. Look, listen. Here's my pitch, okay? Do away with time zones, okay? I don't give a shit if you live in Hong Kong or if you live in Sacramento, California, or if you live in fucking New York. It is the same goddamn time all around the globe. Now imagine this. Imagine that, right? It is 6 p.m. We'll use UTC time because okay? So 6 p.m. UTC, one time zone, whole world. The only thing that needs to fucking change is people's business hours. And like, sure, you'll have to get used to if it's 6 fucking p.m. That's like bedtime now because 6 p.m. UTC is like some crazy hour or whatever. I'm just saying, if the whole fucking world used the same damn clock and the same time, nobody would ever have to convert time zones ever again. I'd be like, hey, Rob, our show's at 7, which would be fucking 7 o'clock for you. It'd be 7 o'clock for me. Oh my God. Okay, that's all.
I appreciate that line of thought, but it's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. Just like I would like metric time. I want time to be metric. There is metric time. It does exist, but just nobody uses it.
Yeah, I like metric time.
But everything's
I like metric measurements, like
time,
centimeters.
Everything's 10. A minute is 100 seconds. An hour is 10. A day is 10 hours. Everything's tens. It works out.
Be interesting.
So here's the thing about time zones that I've always been a little upset with. And I don't know that it applies to older people, but it used to. And it was when your grandmother would call and say, "What time is it there?" And it was everything you could do to stop from saying, "It's the same 3-hour difference as it's fucking been the last 100 times you've asked me, Grandma." I can't say that. Yeah.
Sometimes the only times I've ever asked people that is if I didn't remember what time zone they were in, because I couldn't remember where they lived.
But if your grandma's calling you at the same location for 20 years straight,
yeah, I get that.
What time is it there? Grandma, you just don't care, do you? You can't even put any thought into it, can you?
Right.
All right.
I did my rant. about time. I fucking hate time zones. Everybody should just use UTC time and then just fucking adjust. Learn that, like, if we're on UTC time, then the fucking sun goes down at 5:10 p.m. I don't know.
I
And
have
then everybody adjusts and everybody's on the same fucking time.
I have 3 words to say to you, Robin, about your time concept. And
Okay.
those 3 words are Nix Tui 2024.
That's fucking right. Next to
You
2024.
just make it happen.
hmm
But you
And
got
we should switch to the metric system.
there's only one reason to not switch to the metric system, and that's NFL football. That's the only reason. That's the only
Why?
thing that
Because
would get
they
screwed
measure
up.
in yards?
They measure in yards. Everybody else wouldn't give a
They
fuck.
could
They'd all be
fucking
for it.
measure in something else.
Well, they could measure in meters, but then the record books and everything would be all screwed up. But the thing is, we could change to the metric system, and football could just still use yards. That's fine.
I mean, fuck football. So, like, there's the answer.
All right. So new VP candidates may apply now because like that.
I thought I was gonna be the president.
That's right. Which is why I said new VP candidates can apply.
Oh,
I'm out.
I see.
I'm out.
I see.
I still want you to be president.
Baseball is the superior sport and is still
okay.
lovingly known as America's pastime. So, fuck football.
Football's so fun, though.
Oh, here, I'll make it even worse. My mother is the world's biggest Green Bay Packers fan.
At least she's not a Patriots fan.
Gross.
Yeah, gross.
No, I mean, like, my mom really, really likes the Packers. Like, all of her bedding is Green Bay Packers. She has a teddy bear that's, like, wearing a Green Bay Packers jersey. My mom is fucking crazy.
How did this happen? Did she live in Wisconsin?
Yeah, she used to live in Wisconsin when her and my dad first got married. They lived in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I don't even know where that is, but that's where they lived.
Gosh.
And they're big, fat cheese heads. Mm-hmm.
See, I can forgive someone for being a Packers fan if they live there. Because, home team, what are you going to do? But right. I like these people that grew up in Seattle, and they're like, yeah, go Packers. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, John C., and I quote George Carlin, the late George Carlin, soccer's not a sport. You can't use your arms.
Soccer, the real football. I know, but you know what really irks me is that when people say other things aren't sport, like esports aren't sports, I will fight you tooth and fucking nail. Esports are sports.
So
I know they're not physical sports, but they're sports.
The definition of a sport to me is there a referee?
Yes.
So esports is sports.
I mean,
golf, not a sport.
Referee. Golf is a sport. Okay, NASCAR, Rob, we're going to fight.
NASCAR, not a sport.
NASCAR is a sport.
No.
Do people compete in it?
I don't know. Let's look at the definition.
Do people watch it?
No. No, I don't watch NASCAR. I'm not a fucking redneck. That's right, NASCAR fans. Write me letters.
It's a fucking sport.
Oh, wait.
Chess is a sport, yes.
Chess is not a sport. Chess is a game.
Chess is a sport. Okay, then by your logic, esports aren't sports because they're playing video games. But they're playing competitively. Are they competing against other people? Yes.
Okay, here we go. Sport. An athletic activity requiring skill, physical prowess, and often of a competitive nature as racing, boo, baseball, tennis, golf, boo, bowling, boo, wrestling, boxing, hunting, fishing. See, I don't agree. But I think I can be okay with anybody calling anything a sport as long as I get to say, yeah, but not a good sport.
I just think, I don't know. My whole thing, well, also you have to understand, I used to be an esports journalist for a very long time, so I have a vested interest in this. Yeah. It's something that was like, something I did as like my career. And esports are a sport. Fucking fight me.
The thing is, they took a genre of activity and branded it with a name as esport. So since they did that, and everybody's accepted that branding, you can't say esports aren't sports. They are sports.
Yeah.
Because that's their name.
But there's a lot of people who are like, oh, that's not a sport. StarCraft, competition. It's not a sport, you know. It's just people playing StarCraft for money.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides of it. Oh, my friend says
Sport.
she's not watching yet. She's cooking dinner. Don't you know how to
Rip.
watch? Yeah, rip. Did you say rip? I haven't
I
heard that.
did.
I haven't heard
Rest
that before.
in peace. Rip. I say it all the time. I'm like, rip me,
I've
rip
never
you, rip
heard you say
that.
that. The other one that's so funny that people say all the time, I'm just noticing it more maybe all the time now, but people say, you've said it, people say something happens or somebody says something and people go, rude.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, that's a funny
Rude.
one. Rude.
It's my favorite. Or I will, if people say something, you know, to a normal reaction would be you would like have an exasperated sigh. I just say, sigh.
Yeah, yeah. You do the onomatopoeia or whatever.
That's fucking right. Kids also say rip in pieces. Yeah, my kids do that. And I'm like, no, no, no. It's just rip. There's already
Yeah.
an in pieces implied because it's rest in pieces.
And if you're going to
And they're
continue
like,
to act that
rip in
way and
pieces.
say the extra words, I would like you to go down to the automatic teller machine, the ATM machine,
Right?
and get me some money. I ruined it. Fuck.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
The automatic
Delrin78, a new name. What's up? Type that in the chat just when I was saying that.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not
an
an
ATM machine.
Yeah.
It's just the ATM. I'm not gonna lie, when I was little, I used to call it the ATM machine. But when I got older, I was like, oh, it's just ATM. By the way, who the fuck uses ATMs anymore? Talk about
I
like those
have
are
when I need
not that. I
so
mean, I agree. I use them sometimes, but not as much as I used to when I was like 18, 19, 20
Oh
years
no,
old.
yeah, like 10, 20 years ago you would almost all the time. But
Mhm.
I use them to get cash to pay like the guy that mows my lawn who I can
Right.
only
Yeah.
yeah, so but other than that, no, it's all PayPal and sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time we use an ATM, and I shit you not, is twice a year. Our neighborhood has a neighborhood yard sale. And we go to the ATM and we get cash.
So you
And then we
can
go yard sailing.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's fucking it.
And also
And it's like, we don't need cash for anything else.
I don't think I've written a check since 1987.
I can't remember the last time I wrote a check.
I'm so happy to be standing at the grocery store behind the lady who starts writing a check for $3. And I'm like, what is happening?
I've never written a check like for shopping purposes. The last time I wrote a check was when we lived in Clarksville in Tennessee. We had to pay the down payment on our rental on the house that we were renting. And so you have to pay first and last month's rent. Wow, that's really hard to say. And we paid that with a check. So, and we moved there in like 2013. So, yeah, that was like the last time I recall using a check for
Yeah, the last time
anything.
I used a check was to pay rent in Los Angeles, I think. So
Yeah.
it was in the yeah, a long
I
time
don't
ago.
even think we wrote a check to pay our closing costs on the house. It was all just like in an account. I don't remember.
So I had to deposit an amount of money in my financial advisor's account, and she said, "Can you give me a canceled check?" And it turns out that the only way I could do it, so I had to literally go to the bank and have them issue me one check for like 90 cents so I could write on it.
I mean, I still have a checkbook.
Yeah, I don't.
We just don't use it. And you know how they start at like 000 is the number on your checks? We're down to 005. So
Yeah.
that's
By
how
the
many
way, did you
checks we've
know
used.
that you can, when you get a new checking account and get your checks, you can start at any number you want. You don't have to start at 0.
I did not know that. We got these checks like 10 years ago. So.
The way, because it might not matter now these days, but it used to be where everybody wanted you to be established, and if you showed up with a check that was like 001, they would freak out. They wouldn't want to take it from you.
Oh, God.
So the lady at the bank one time told me, she goes, people don't know this, but you can literally just tell us what number you want to start with. How's 12,000 sound? I'm like, yeah, that's good. So
That's
then
crazy.
my check was 12,001.
Wow.
Checks are promissory note stating, I promise that if I really, really wanted to commit fraud or scam you, I still have means of doing so. and you're holding it.
Scuba
So
said a company asked him to mail them a check, and he responded, "I don't have checks. I'm not over 80."
so here's the thing. This is a little personal story that the statute of limitations has long since passed on, so I won't have to worry about telling it.
Okay.
But when I was 21 or 22, right in there, I had created this. I came up with this idea that was fucking genius. I did it by accident. So I was super poor, right? And I had a checking account, and I had two checking accounts actually. And I wrote a check, and then I realized the check wasn't going to clear. And it used to be when you wrote a check, it took like 3 to 5 days to get to the bank and go, because everything was all antiquated.
Mhm.
So I realized, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to borrow some money to put in there, or else it's going to bounce and they're going to charge me more fees or whatever. And
Right.
then so then I came up with this idea, and I wrote a check from account number 2 to number 1, and then I circled that program for like
No.
3 weeks until I got paid, and then I balanced it out. And I thought, I'm a fucking genius. No one's ever thought of this. You can create money. And then I was telling someone that I hadn't talked to about it, about what I was doing, and they go, "So, let me just tell you something. They have a name for that. It's called check kiting, and people go to prison for it." And I was
Holy
mortified. I
shit.
thought I created this whole genius thing that no one ever thought of. I thought it was so
Right.
smart. Yeah, so I was like 21.
I didn't know you
Uh,
could go to prison for that.
it's fucking illegal as fuck to do that.
I didn't
And
know
now,
that.
so
I've
now you
never
can't
done
do it,
it.
right? You write a
So,
check before you even
right.
sign the check. That money's gone. It's out of your account. It's like, what happened? How did that
Yeah.
work? Yeah. So you can't do
Yeah.
it anymore. But back in the day, that was a whole big thing. Yep.
I know. We're like my husband and I are such millennials. Whenever we like pay our bills, we get very upset if they take more than like 2 days to come out of the checking account that we pay our bills from. I'm like, "Why hasn't this come out of the bank account? I don't understand. We pay everything online. It's all fucking digital now. Just be gone so I can like assess the situation and see where our checking account's at. Why hasn't the electricity bill come out?" And like we have everything on auto, fucking auto pay. Take the money when you need it, whatever. And it's like, what are we waiting on? I don't understand why
You guys
things
might need
don't.
to reevaluate the way you do your accounting.
But no. I mean, it's fine because we have 3 checking accounts. We have one that we pay our bills out of. And so whenever, he gets paid or I get paid or whatever, we put money in that account and that just covers the bills, and then the bills come out, and it's whatever. It's never been an issue. And then we have our other like spending account or whatever you want to call that we shop out of, and et cetera, et cetera. And then we have another account for our kids' allowance. We give them allowance, they have debit cards. My children have a debit card. Like, how
Wow.
crazy is that? But it's the easiest way to give them their allowance for like doing chores and shit. We don't have cash. Who has cash anymore? So, like, the kids have to have a checking account in order to spend, like, to go shopping. And plus, our kids are like little fucking gamers. So, anyways, when they have allowance, they're like, "Hey, mom, I'm going to buy this skin on fucking Fortnite or whatever." I can't give them $10 in cash and be like, "Okay, get your skin in Fortnite." It doesn't fucking work like that, Rob. They
I
have
get
to have
it.
a debit card.
Don't yell at me.
The
No, but
fun
I'll tell
account.
you. I'll tell you what happened to me was when I was young, when I was in late teens and early 20s. I would meticulously, because I was super poor, so I would meticulously keep my checkbook and keep track of everything and keep the receipts and pay my taxes the way, and had everything all down to the penny. And
Right. No, I don't do
it
that.
seemed like every week I had $1 left to my name. Like I was always, always, always dead broke. And then
I
one
know
day,
that feeling.
and when I was in my late 20s, sometimes I was living in Phoenix, I took my check register, and I just threw it away. And I decided I don't want to know how much money I have. And so I just lived in panic mode all the time. I just assumed I was broke all the time.
I
And when
know.
I did that, I went and checked my balance one time like 6 months later, and I had like $400 because I was
Dang.
so panicked all the time that I just didn't spend any
Mhm.
money, and it was a great way. And and what I declared bankruptcy when I was 20 1990. I was 24, and my entire debt was like $12,000. And I went to the lawyer, and he goes, "Get out of my fucking office. Come back when you have a problem." Because he said that's not worth it, So then I went to like B. Dalton Bookstore and got the bankruptcy forms and did it myself manually. But my credit was jacked for 20 years, right? 10 years. It's like it's like 800 now. Thank you, ladies. 800 credit. But I have since that day purchased a car or maybe 2 cars on credit, nothing else ever.
Damn.
And even to this day now, I don't really carry cash, but I put everything I buy on my Costco card, my Visa Costco card, and at the end of the month I pay the whole balance. So I've just lived that way for like the last 30 years. If I can't buy it for cash unless it's a car, then I won't buy it. And at this point in my life, I won't even buy a car on credit. I won't get another car unless I can go down and pay for it. So that's
I wish I could say the same.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not the same for me.
It's not that I'm rich. It's just that I developed this sense of don't fucking buy anything if you can't buy it. If you put it on credit, you don't need it.
Right.
Except I can understand a car or a house would be something that someone should buy on like with a loan.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're gonna buy an Xbox or a TV or a stereo or any of this kind of shit and you can't pay for it, then you shouldn't get it. That's just
well, all of our cars we've bought on credit with the exception of one. No, we bought that one on credit too. Or, got a loan for it or whatever. I was trying to think. My husband used to have a Volkswagen Golf, which is I don't know, it's an ugly car, but he liked it. Anyway, he used to have a Volkswagen Golf. I was trying to remember if we had financed that one or if we had paid for it outright, but it was like really cheap. I think we paid for like half of it and then financed the other bit of it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And well, I mean, obviously we got a mortgage on the house.
Yeah, see, a house
because
makes sense. Cars make sense.
we're not that rich.
Because they well, I mean, I don't know anybody that can just buy a house, but mortgages and cars make sense because that is a life necessity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck you, Schmo. And
what's up, Schmo?
But if you go and get like a credit card and then you run it up buying like jewelry and
no, we don't
candy,
do that.
But I mean, just not you, but the average person.
Right, yeah.
That's where people get into such huge trouble. And unfortunately, every commercial you watch, every ad you see on a magazine or whatever, there's these things, Robin, they're magazines. They're a little paper like that. I don't know if you've seen it.
Uh-huh.
And
where you could buy things from them. I know what you're talking about.
But everything you see is designed to make you buy something.
Sky Mall.
Yeah, so Sky Mall. I want some of that stuff. But
no, but like okay, so we have 2 credit cards, but they're like rainy day credit cards. We don't use them that much. And there have been many rainy days where it's like, oh shit, the car needs new brakes and we didn't save for this or whatever. Look, I'll be honest, we're not fucking rich. Like we don't really have a lot of money in savings, or in fact we just spent all of our savings. Oh my god, Rob, we had to take all the money out of our savings account, which wasn't very much, and we had to buy a new washer and dryer because our washer and our dryer stopped working within like a few days of each other. Fucking what the fuck. And we were like so proud. We were like, yeah, okay, we got a little something and we'll use this for whatever down the road. No, fucking new washer and dryer. Oh my gosh, it was just like, of course that would happen.
Rainy day funds are good for people to have. Nobody, I don't think most Americans have discipline. I don't think, because I've read all kinds of books. And I've seen you're saying you don't have any discipline?
I don't have any discipline. Nope.
You can, and it's not like when I'm saying you, I'm not saying you, Robin. I'm saying you,
right.
The person listening.
The general you.
The general you, the collective you. When a person has bills and has like debts they need to pay off, most people don't understand that what you do is you pay the smallest one off first and you just keep doing that. And when you get your paycheck at the end of the month or every 2 weeks or whatever it is, and you get money to your family, fucking buy your food, pay your heat, pay all the necessities, and take
Mhm.
everything else that's left over, and fuck going out to dinner, fuck going to the movies, fuck buying some stupid shit you don't need. Pay your fucking bills off, and all that
Right.
interest you're paying, and then eventually that shit's all gone, and it's all just
Mhm.
now gravy. Yeah, and then you got to sock away a rainy day fund, and I guess I think people say like 3 months salary or something is a nice rainy day fund
Right, which
in
we
case you
have
lose.
never had. I'll just point the most we've ever had rainy day fund was like a month and a half's
Yeah,
salary.
but
And in
then
fact, that's what we had when we moved here, and it was awesome because it took my husband a month to get a new job when we bought this house and moved up here. So it worked out fucking perfectly, but we were very ill prepared for like
yeah,
the whole fucking
well, and
situation.
then
But we can talk about that some other day.
shit you can't help, like the washer breaks, then you're there's nothing you can fucking do. You got to get it. You got to replace.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's why you got to have. So I have an emergency fund, and I guess slash rainy day fund, but I have, and I've had shit. My water heater blew up, and I fucking whatever else, and fucking shit happens, guys.
Mhm.
Home ownership is the worst. It's just so expensive.
Yeah, I hate it. And like I really miss and I tell my husband this all the time cuz he was, very um he really wanted to own our own home. And we do now, but even before going into it, I already knew that it's a lot of money and it's a lot of work, and I knew my personality that I wouldn't like it that much. I mean, there are things I like about it, but there are other things I don't. Compared to like when he was active duty and we were in military housing, like if our fucking light bulbs went out, we could call maintenance and they would bring us new light bulbs.
Hmm.
Like within 20 minutes. It was
Yeah.
fucking awesome. Like you don't have to worry about anything. Washer breaks, they give you a new one if they can't fix it or whatever. Dishwasher breaks, brand new one. Here you go. Fucking everything. Our cat like scratched up part of the carpet and they were like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, this is my responsibility and you're going to fix it. That's fucking awesome.
That's one thing that the military does really well that I always resented because I was single.
Oh, right. Yes.
And
I'm
so
sorry.
all these fucking people, you're like, I'm sorry. All these fucking people that were living in housing not only had a cushy place to live with no basically bills to worry about, but they also got extra money. They got like extra money.
No, 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 no. If you live
In
in
my day.
military housing, they take your BAH. So we didn't get BAH while we lived in housing. If
Oh,
we lived off post and rented a house from like a civilian, then you get BAH.
okay. Yeah, I just remember my two friends had a house on base and they also got a check. And I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
we never had
Yeah.
that. So there like of the 3 bases that we were married or the 2 places that we no, 3. The 3 places that we were married to each other and living, together, um, only once did we live in military housing, and that was when we were in Missouri. We lived in military housing in Missouri. It was fucking nice. They took care of everything. But when we lived in Washington and when we lived in Tennessee, we lived off base and we rented a house from like civilians.
Yeah.
And that was when we got BAH. Yeah. Right. And I
BAH
loved
stands
it.
for what in housing?
Basic allowance for
Basic allowance for
of
housing. Okay.
housing for housing, whatever. Yeah.
Bah!
Basic allowance for housing.
Bah. BAH.
Bah.
Bah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but yeah,
I
like
was so mad at
they
my friends because
paid
I was
everything. It was fucking awesome.
had a roommate in the fucking barracks or whatever the fuck it was. Room this
Look,
big like that.
we lived Messy and I both lived in the barracks for a time before we were like married. I technically didn't have to because I had to depend my son. I had a dependent and I could live off post, but we both spent a time living in the barracks. Um, so I've been there, done that. I know what barracks life is like. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just I don't know. Get married, live off post.
Well, see, that's easy. Bah humbug, Merrick Steele. Bah humbug. Bah humbug.
Mhm.
Um, get married. It's just so simple, isn't it, Robin? I should just get married.
Right.
I'm
Oh, so
not.
Belle said the Fort Campbell housing was not that bad. We tried when we moved to Tennessee, we tried to go live on post at Fort Campbell, but their waiting list was like 18 months long. So we were like, oh shit, we have to rent a house off post. So we rented like this shitty little house that was like $800 a month. It was like dirt cheap, which I mean that's not even that cheap, but it was big enough for us, and we had our Great Dane, so she needed a yard, and we had 2 kids at the time, and yeah, anyways. we couldn't get post housing at Fort Campbell because it was like forever.
This houses that my friends had, this was at White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico. And this was in 1985. Brand new houses. They were the first people to occupy the house. And it was like fucking crazy. It wasn't like just wasn't like shitty housing. It was really, really nice. And they actually, I got so angry that they said, you know what, Rob, if any night you want to come and sleep on our couch, you can. You want to get out of that barracks and away from your roommate.
On the couch, no guest room.
Oh, actually, they did have a guest room after. Yeah, they didn't have a bed in there for a while, but then they put a bed in there, and I want to say they did it just for me because they didn't have kids or anything.
Aww.
And then my friend, it was Henry and Bobby were their names. Henry and Bobby was the wife, and he went to like not OCS, but NCO. What's the NCO school? Whatever the fuck it is.
I don't know. Messi will know because he went to it.
So he goes away for whatever 90 days. I don't know what.
NCO.
NCIS New York. I don't know what it is, but anyways.
NCIS.
NCO school. So he's gonna leave, and I had gotten to the point where I was basically, they just didn't kick me out, and I just kept coming every night and staying there. And he goes, "Oh, when I go to NCO school, you can't stay at the house." And I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" And he goes, "Well, it's not appropriate." And I go, "Come on." And he goes, "No." He goes, "I'm not saying I don't trust you. It's that anyone who knows you're staying there with my wife and it's just the two of you, they're going to say shit and whatever." And I go, "Okay, that's fine." So then I couldn't stay there for like 3 months. And then their daughter does kind of look like me. I'm just kidding. I don't even know if they ever had kids. I'm only kidding. I didn't have sex with her, everybody. Calm down. I don't think I've ever had sex. I can't remember.
Oh, was it ALC maybe? Or SLC?
Oh, ALC. That sounds right.
It was ALC.
Advanced Leadership
Course.
ALC
you go usually when you're a specialist or an E5, a sergeant.
Yes, he was going to do it so he could get E5, yeah.
Okay. I never went, but I was supposed to go to ALC. I want to say Messi did both ALC and SLC, but I can't remember because he's been to so many schools.
Matt Curie says ALC.
Like in the Army, they make you go to school for everything.
Yeah, Matt Curie said ALC stands for Assholes Last Chance.
Assholes Last Chance. That's fucked up.
We were all Army, Schmo. All of us were.
No, WLC? Wait, Messi, you went to WLC?
What is WLC?
I don't remember. I don't fucking know. Look, I did 4 years. That was it. I was a specialist when I got out. I didn't go to none of this fancy bullshit. My husband did 10 years. Okay, he's been to everything. He went to fucking jump school. He was a recruiter. My husband has done everything in the Army, and I've done jack all. So I don't fucking know.
Were you E4P when you got out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe? No, I don't know.
I told you I don't remember what they offered me, right? I turned down.
I think so.
Offer. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because you were in like way back when where they would give you like crazy amounts of money to stay in the Army.
Yeah. Plus they were going to.
You know what they did for my husband? Fucking nothing. They were like, "Oh, okay, you want out? Okay, bye."
Yeah. Because there's too many kids who want to volunteer now to go in the military. But I threw away $55,000 when I left the $55,000. In $1987. I threw it away.
That's crazy.
That's how much I fucking wanted out of the Army. I did
not. WLT is for E4s.
I didn't.
ALC for E5 or E6s. And SLC for E7 or E8. But I think if you were E4, fucking, what's the special E4 called? Corporal. If you're a corporal, you could go to ALC. I don't fucking know. You guys, I
Yeah,
don't know jack all.
WLC doesn't
Okay.
sound. They didn't have anything. You just became an E4 back when I was in. They didn't have to go into any fucking school, but you did have to go
No,
to
now you
ALC
have to
for.
go to school.
Oh Jesus.
Also, if you want to get promoted, they have like this points system now. I don't know if they had that back when you were in, but like, so for my husband's MOS, we had the same MOS, and we were 25 November nodal network system operator maintainers, basically like IT, right? So in order for him to go from being an E4 to being an E5 or being an E5 to being an E6, you have to like have points, and each MOS is weighted, and they weight them every year, and they look at like how many E5s are in this MOS in the whole army,
right. Yeah.
right? And then they'll decide how many points you need to make E5 or make E6 based on
Yeah.
how many people currently have that rank in your MOS.
That's fucked
So
up.
when we were E4s, the points to make E5 were fucking maxed. It was
Yeah.
like you have to have maxed points to make
Yeah, that's
E5.
fucked up. It's like a
Yeah, it was
grading on a
stupid.
curve. I hate it.
Yes. And so I never made E5, even though I could have. I was in long enough and all these things. But in order to get max points, you had to have like X amount of college credits. You had to take every fucking course the Army offers. You have to do all this fucking bullshit and like suck your commander's dick or, whatever.
No, I'm down for that. That's cool.
And yeah, it was stupid. 798 of 100, 800 is how many points you needed to make E5 way back when. So I got out, and then like a year later, Messi was like, "Hey, I can make E5 now. The points got lowered." And I was like, "Fuck you." But,
so I
yeah.
wonder. So I joined when I was 17. So I did delayed entry program. So I did a year before I graduated high school. I just had to basically like being in the reserves. I just had to go march in the parking lot a couple times, and that was basically it. So I started basic as an E2.
I was at E2 when I started basic also.
And then
or E3, I can't remember. E2.
Got quickly promoted. Right around the time I got to my first duty station, I got promoted to E3. And then at that same duty station, before I left to go to Korea, I got E4. And then when I refused, and I took the sergeant's exam, or I went to the board or whatever to do to go in there and talk to 3 people or 5 people, whatever it was. And then if I would have, and so my out date was like June 12th or something, and I had 30 days leave, so I was going to leave Korea around May 12th and get discharged and take my leave all at the end, just get the money. And so they told me if they were trying to coerce me to stay, and they said that I would be E5 if I stayed, and that they would do it that day. So if I would have made E5, I would have been promoted from being in the Army 2 years and 10 months and like 20 days. And I would have been at E5, and everyone would have hated me.
Damn.
And so then I was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And then I also blew the $50,000 thing that I did for the invention, for that invention, but you have to be in active duty when they do it, so then that would have been like a year later. Fuck
I
the
never
Army.
wanted to be a sergeant. Like, no part of no,
I never really,
to put it in perspective also, in my platoon or in my whole company, there were only 4 women, like, altogether. That was it. And everybody else is a dude. And like, I was already treated like hot garbage by my platoon sergeant. And I mean it, like, fucking, he was a douchebag, and he was very, very sexist and, just a terrible person. And I had a really bad experience at my first duty station. If it wasn't for that, I would have stayed in, because when I was in AIT, I loved AIT. I loved being in the Army. I loved everything about it. I had great PT scores. I, was a fucking stellar soldier. And then I got to my first duty station, and I had such shitty leadership that I hated it. Even like my husband, he was in the same battalion as me, but a different company. And his platoon sergeant, pulled me aside one day, and he was like, "I know your company is full of fucking, shit, like shit leaders and shit people." And he's like, "I feel really bad for you," because my husband would talk to him about it all the time, because it caused issues. and it was just really, it was like just this constant problem. So I ended up like just getting out. I didn't re-up. I really wanted to, but not if I had to stay there. I just hated every
Too
minute
much
of it.
bullshit. I know. I get it.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
man, good for
just
you.
horrible.
Bro,
Well, I mean, good for me, but I really wanted to do 20 years. Like I was fucking gung ho army, like who a motherfucker, you know, like I just wanted to stay in, and I loved it. There was things about the army that I love. You know, I
yeah.
loved waking up every day to go do PT. I fucking loved it. I ate, breathed, and drank that shit. Like I loved it.
Oh my God. How many did you do any reserve time?
No, I didn't even have to do reserve time.
So you did 4 years. You just did 4 years.
Yep. Yep. Did 4
So I
years.
did 6 years because I did 3 reserves.
Right. Yeah. I wanted
Boo.
to do reserves, but it was not an option for me.
Rob Pappin, thank you for subbing for 14 months in a row. Boom. Yeah, in Korea I was 76 Yankee, so supply armory. I mean supply, but I was an armor, which is a division of it. But in our MOS when I was in Korea, I'd say we had 50% women because
Yeah.
there were 7 of us and 3 women. Okay, so that's not 50%, but that's close.
Yeah, there's
It's
not
half
that
in
many of
D&D,
us.
isn't it? Yes, it is. You wrote it
Yeah,
down.
yeah. But I mean, like, we were IT, so like, I mean, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way.
Here it comes.
I'm not saying that girls are stupider. That's not what I'm saying at all. But all I'm saying is girls generally didn't pick IT for their
Right.
army job.
It's
That's
not
all.
an
That's all I'm
inclination.
saying.
Right. When they go see at the list. Oh, and the other thing was when I joined, so I joined with another guy who fucking quit during basic training and then he retired from the Air Force. What an asshole. Anyway, when we joined, we had our choice of duty station or job. So I could have like said I wanted to go to Fort Lewis, which was 300 miles from my house, but then they
Right.
could have told me, "Okay, you're 11 Bravo." And fuck
Yeah.
that. So we looked at the thing and he goes, "Let's be this unit supply. I mean, giving out blankets, it's a cush job." He totally fucking talked me into it. So I signed up to do that and then they sent me wherever the fuck they wanted. But yeah, he quit. Yep. Thank you for both of your service. Oh yeah.
Aw,
Thanks.
thanks.
I have I still do have friends and family um that call me or PM me or email me or whatever on Veterans Day, and I appreciate
Me
it.
too.
And then when they do it on Memorial Day, I yell at them, I'm not dead. It's
Right.
not the same thing.
I always feel so weird too, because like I was only in for 4 years. I narrowly missed getting to go to Afghanistan with my company because when my company went, only half of our company went, and they went to Afghanistan like just a couple of weeks after I found out I was pregnant. So it was like I had already been in for like 3.5 years. I was coming up on like getting ready to ETS and I was pregnant at the same time. And then they were like, oh yeah, half the company's going to Afghanistan. And this was during the drawback, right? I don't know if you remember, but like Obama was like pulling soldiers back. So all they were going there to do, my whole company, was to tear down the fobs that they had built, you know, over the many years.
Yeah.
So that was it. Like they weren't even going to do their MOS. They were going to do fucking infrastructure bullshit, you know? And yeah, so I didn't get to go. My husband went to Afghanistan. He did a year in Afghanistan at around that same time when I was pregnant, because I was pregnant when he was deployed. We found out that I was pregnant the day he left. Like that was the day we found out.
Oh wow.
So it was like, have fun in Afghanistan. By the way, when you get back, there will be a baby. You
Yeah.
know? Um, so that really sucked. But yeah, I never got to deploy. So it's always weird to me when people are like, thank you for your service. And I'm like, well, I spent 9 months of my time in the army, I was pregnant. And then the other 3 years and a couple months or whatever, I never deployed. I was always, you know, on base. And I was in the fucking Signal Corps. Like, we are
Yeah.
not that
Well,
hardcore.
I always felt weird because I have COVID. I always felt weird because you know my basic job that I did for the whole time was sort of a back office support thing. And then even when I was in the
Yeah, that's what
armor,
we did.
I was in the armory. I was in there with the weapons, but I wasn't out fighting or doing anything. And so, but I remember, I mean, the reason I joined was to be a part of the military, to do my thing for my country,
Mhm.
for my time. And I didn't have control over what I did. I just did what I was told. So I think when somebody says thank you for your service, even if you didn't kill a Haji, it's still okay.
Right.
Even if you
Yeah.
didn't fuck up Charlie, everybody, that's still okay. That's for the older
I know.
guys in Vietnam.
Look, we had these really cool the shit I learned in the army was like some really fucking cool shit. We had these like tac satellites, right? TacSats, where it's like on a trailer and it's this big like fucking pop-up satellite, not LOS satellites, but I mean like satellites. Like they go out to the troposphere and back. And I like there's so much cool shit I learned from my time in the army. So one time we were doing field exercise, which by the way, field exercises are like the most bullshittiest bullshit on earth. But anyways, we were doing a month-long field exercise. And so we're like out in bumfuck Egypt, not really, but you know, somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Washington. Yakima, I think is the place it was called, out in Washington.
That is the middle of nothing. Yes,
Yes. Okay, do you know what I'm talking about?
it's right in the
Okay,
middle,
yeah.
right in the middle of the state. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like fucking nothing for miles. Anyways, so they send you there to like prepare you for deployments. So we have like all of our satellites, and then we have these trucks called JNNs and Triple S's, and they're like big. It's like a big shelter on the back of a Humvee, and inside of it, that's all of our like our servers and our pods phones and like all that shit in this thing on the back of the Humvee. And we go out there, and like at the same time the infantry unit, they were doing a field exercise too, right? And
Yeah.
so we see these fucking helicopters like flying over us. And then next thing we see is like little blips jumping out of the helicopters and they're like parachuting out in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, whoa, that's so cool. You know, we're
Yeah.
out here like fucking nerds with our little like cases with the computers that have, you know, like laptops in the big fucking cases. And we're all like typing on our laptop. We got our table and our tent set up, and we're like watching these dudes jump out of fucking airplanes, like doing the coolest fucking army shit ever. And we're just out here, like all of us with our BCGs, just looking stupid.
Yeah. It's so funny what a difference 15 or 20 years makes, because when I was in the army, there was no internet, there was no computers in the army. Everything was pencil and paper. And the most sophisticated machinery in the army when I was in
Radios.
were the radios and
Yeah.
the helicopters and the tanks.
Dude, we still had to learn how to do all the radio, everything.
Yeah.
But now
But
you can
nobody had a
like,
laptop. Nobody had, this was all
yeah, no, we had
so the
laptops.
army that I was in was all, like Matakuri was joking, "Oh, and did you have a musket?" It was pretty much almost that.
We didn't have
I
a
mean,
musket.
no, but I mean, he's just, he's
I
like
know, I
from this,
get you.
but the
I was a
1980s army
249
was
gunner
just
though.
49.
I was an excellent 249 gunner. Yes. So that's how sexist my platoon sergeant was. We had M4s and M16s. And you would think, right, that the M4s, there were four of them, would be assigned to the women. No. He assigned the M4s to the biggest, burliest dudes in our company, and the 249s went to me and two other females who were even tinier than I was back then. One of them was like 110 soaking wet. Like, you know what I mean? She was tiny. And we were the 249 gunners for our unit. So, like, every time we went ruck marching, 12-mile ruck march, carrying a 249. And I don't, if there's anybody in chat who doesn't know how big a 249 is,
It's
they're
not
fucking
it's
huge.
not fun.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that was my not weapon of choice, but that was my weapon. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Um,
This is my this is my weapon. This is my gun. This one's for killing. This one's for fun.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, I used to go I was really thankful that whenever we went to the range though, I could use the little tripod for it to shoot with it, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Cuz I don't think I could actually even wield that without laying in prone position and having it
Yeah.
on a tripod. There's no fucking way that I could even use a 249 without that because it's gigantic. Oh
What's up,
man. But the
Gwydion?
most
Gwydion's
fun
here.
thing I've ever fired is a 50 caliber. Like that's the most fun thing to fire on Earth is a 50 caliber. It's
Oh my
awesome.
god, I bet that would be. I've never.
The
Haven't ever
first
done
time
that.
I ever fired one, I couldn't even pull the bolt back. But that was like when I first joined the army and they were like just showing us how to use them. And they were like, okay, here's how the 50 caliber works. You pull this fucking, I couldn't even do it. So, but I was like,
Yeah.
this is awesome. Yeah. I'm not a gun nut. I don't even own a gun, but it's still a fond thing to remember.
Yep, I carried a 1911 on my hip every day I was in. And
I'm not familiar with it. Is that a handgun? It's like an M9
yeah,
kind of?
it's an M1911. It's just a pistol.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's got a clip and it's like
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And M16 of course, and yeah, I shot an M203 once, but I'm almost positive that when I did, the grenade was paint. It wasn't live. We were shooting them at tanks. We were like paintballing tanks with M203s.
Oh yeah, I like the
Yeah.
203s. Those were fun. I only got to fire it once. And we were doing like a mount training. I always forget what that stands for. Somebody in chat will probably know. MOUT. We were doing a mount training and we had 203s out there for
Oh,
that.
did you ever fire a law?
No.
That was crazy.
What is that?
Back blast area all clear. That's the light anti-tank
Oh
weapon.
yeah,
that
we
slides
did.
out
We
like that.
yeah. Okay, and you put it on your shoulder. We did shoot those. I didn't ever get to shoot it, but I watched people shoot it. So
Yeah,
same
it was
thing.
crazy because you had to yell back blast area all clear, so
Yes,
shoot out
I
the back and
remember
kill
that.
somebody.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was crazy.
Military operations in urban terrain. See, I told you somebody would remember what
go.
mount training is. We did it. It's where you learn how to like clear, buildings and how to like not shoot civilians but shoot the bad guys and all
Wait,
the, but
what?
in
Don't
like
shoot
urban
civilians.
terrain.
What kind of crazy shit is that?
Yeah.
I thought that's why I got into it.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
We had SMAW and AT4. I don't know what those are. You guys, I'm not that smart. Listen, I'm not that smart.
So I've always just had no interest in anything military, but what my bucket list is submarine and aircraft carrier. So these of course are naval and Air Forcey kind of things. Yeah. I mean Navy and no, they're Navy. They're all Navy.
Yeah.
And my friend, a different guy that I knew in high school, he was maybe even a year older than me. He joined the Navy and he was like a nuclear tech.
Whoa.
And he was in submarines and aircraft carriers and stuff, and I was always so jealous.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Messi had a friend, I think, who was in EOD where they do like the bomb disposal and stuff like that. Right. And they had like robots and shit, which sounded really cool. And I mean, most of our friends were Signal like us because, when you're in, you just make friends with people who are in your company or whatever, or your battalion at least.
And especially, did you guys have it where like we would make friends with people in our same MOS but at different bases?
Yeah, no, we didn't do that.
Because if you're in supply, it's like, listen, what do you need?
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
We're low on this, and but we need. We got those. We can make a little trade. Yeah. All right, I'll fill out the paperwork. No paperwork. Let's just, it's a fucking.
I'm trying to think because like even our whole barracks was just for our battalion, so like. It was hard to make friends with people who were, infantry or fucking MPs because they just we didn't interact with them that much at all. So I think our whole barracks building was for our battalion. So no, we didn't interact with other people. They kept all the nerds separate from the general population for a reason.
Yeah, they don't want you to talk.
We had friends though that like, so when you lived in the barracks during my day in the army, if you wanted internet, you would have to call Comcast and they would have to come up to your barracks room and like install Comcast internet for you or whatever provider you were choosing. So we had people who would get everybody on the whole floor to go in on wireless access point that they would keep in the hallway, and then everybody on that whole floor would have internet, but they would all just split the bill basically. And because we were all, IT nerds, they would be putting fucking, extra wireless access
Yeah,
points every
repeaters and
sixth
everything everywhere.
door. Yeah, and like repeaters and shit. We were like, oh, we got this shit. Sixth floor is amazing. Fifth floor needs some work, or whatever. They would do all kinds of dumb shit like that. And it was crazy. We were crazy. Good
Yeah.
times. We would have LAN parties. So this is how I got into esports, was when I was in the army. Everybody would play like World of Warcraft and StarCraft and stuff like that. So there would be LAN parties. We had, when Halo Reach came out, the video game Halo Reach. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. We had a big LAN party to play Halo Reach on release day. It actually released while we were in the field. So we had to like wait until we came back from being in the field to buy and play Halo Reach. But yeah, we would have like LAN party to play Halo Reach and just all kinds of dumb shit. We used to play Counter Strike together, which is dumb, but yeah. Okay, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I got
No, but
excited. It all came flooding back. I
I
was like,
know
oh, I remember
that's the
playing
thing
Halo
about the army
Reach.
is you've got like a captive group of people trapped together. You might as well play games. You might as well have a LAN party because everybody's there.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the army, everybody. I encourage you to join.
I gotta sign on a waiting list to use the one payphone while some asshole spends an hour and a half talking to Susie Rotten Crotch when I just wanted to call my mom. I
Oh
mean, there
my
were
god.
times
Susie
after
Rotten
we moved
Crotch.
out of the barracks, we heard a lot of horror stories. Like, if the barracks weren't straight and clean, like they had one fucking sergeant who came in and like tore all their routers and shit down, like off the walls. Didn't give a fuck. Like, just tore it all down. Was like, clean this fucking place up, or whatever,
Oh
because it's
damn.
the barracks. But yeah, like I've heard some crazy shit happen. That's why we were like, let's not live in the barracks anymore. So that's what we did. We got married and moved the fuck out.
I should have got married. Wrong.
Yeah.
No, that would have been bad.
I mean, I got a pretty sweet deal out of it. So
Susie Rotten Crotch.
I am Susie Rotten Crotch. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, Rob.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I talked a whole bunch.
That was Army, everybody. Does everybody
Mhm,
understand now? Don't
mhm.
do it. Who has questions in the chat for us? Who wants to ask us questions? They can be about anything.
Everybody's like, nah, I'm good.
I did that. That was one of my favorite things to do is at the end of my stand-up act, I would say, who has questions? Yeah. And then and most times nobody did, but I love fielding questions because you don't know what anybody's going to ask or whatever. And
Right.
then what was funny is nobody would have questions, and then I go, okay, thanks everybody, good night. The show would be over, and then
Mhm.
15 people would come up to me and go, oh, I wanted to ask. I'm like, why don't you fucking ask me? I would rather you ask me so I can answer and everybody could hear and have fun. And he was like, no, I want to tell you in private. Yeah, okay. Yep.
What's
What's
the
the
most
most
memorable
memorable
question
question?
you can recall from having done that after stand up?
Uh what questions did
Like if
somebody?
you asked that at your stand up,
Yeah,
did was there any memorable questions people asked you?
boy, that's tough because they were all sort of. What's the most memorable one?
Will you
So
suck my
this
dick?
no, the most memorable thing that happened to me wasn't when I did that on stage, but someone who came up to me after the show. Because everybody, if you're a comedian, everybody wants to come up and go, "Oh, I have a joke for you," and I'm like, "That's not how this works. That's not how any of this
Right.
works." I
Yeah.
don't. And I said, besides, I've
Let me
heard them
tell
all.
you a joke.
Yeah, and I said,
Right.
besides, there's not one you can tell me I haven't heard. But this one guy was super insistent, and he goes, no, and this was in, I think this was in Texas. and he goes, I'm going to tell you the funniest joke I've ever heard. And he goes, these two, and I go, I'm going to stop you right there. Because he was about to just get so racist. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to hear that joke. And he goes, well, you're no fun at all. And I go, oh, so
Well,
I go, so you didn't laugh during the show at all? You and your wife and your friends didn't laugh? And they go, well, yeah, we laughed. And I go, so I am fun then. And I was all mad and serious, right? Yeah.
aw,
But yeah, being a stand-up
you
comic
are
was super
stupid.
fun, but it was a fucking shit show. If you're not a celebrity, it really is just work. It's just a horrible
Yeah, because you have to
dream.
like
Yeah.
be on all the time. Like you have to put
Yeah.
yourself out there so much and just be on all the time because you never know the next dude that you're talking to may know, so and so who could put me in
Yeah.
so and so show. And like, dude, I can never handle that. I
So
don't like it.
that was a super fun job when you were doing it, but all the other parts that were outside the stage
Hmm.
time. And I was really good at performing, but I was fucking dog shit at networking and going to parties and meeting people and getting, like, hey, oh, you're working on a project. I was shit at that. So what did he say? That's not how any of
Mary
this
gave a
works.
funny story. So I'm gonna read it out loud.
Okay, go ahead.
The "That's not how any of this works" reminds me of a sword swallower I heard telling the story of someone showing up after the show, having swallowed their whole arm up to the elbow, only to then reveal they were an amputee on that limb.
That's not how
Jeez,
this works. Yeah.
that's not how this
Oh
works.
man.
That's funny. That's a good one.
All right, everybody. Any more questions? Who's got questions? We're here to please everyone.
You
Robin
can
and I are
ask
here.
us anything. Yeah, we're
Robin and
here to
I are
please
here to
you.
be your entertainment monkeys. We'll do anything you say.
That's right. I won't dance though.
No, no,
I don't
yeah, I
dance
shouldn't have
on
said that. We won't
command.
do anything. We will answer any questions.
Yeah, we'll answer things, we won't do things.
Right. Not till later when
Oh
there's a
man.
fight and everybody starts losing clothes. Yeah, that's later.
That's gonna happen very soon. Probably in like the next 20 minutes or so, give or take.
She's already planning it out. All right. Well, I guess if nobody has any questions, we'll
We love you
we'll
all.
bring it on
You're
down.
all amazing.
Yeah, you guys are all super fun,
Thanks for
everybody.
hanging out with us tonight
We
and
hope you come
listening to
and
me ramble.
join
Rob
us
didn't
on
talk that much.
all the Wednesdays.
I
Shit,
talked too much.
I talked enough.
I talked too
All
much.
right, and then here's the thing. The next thing on this channel is Friday, right? Friday
Yeah, you're
is,
good.
yeah, it's the continuing adventures, like 62 episodes of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We've been playing the Friday game since December of 18.
That's
So
awesome.
crazy shit, everybody.
And
Um,
then Saturday
Saturday is Rick and Morty. Tiny
and
Rick. Yeah.
Sunday.
Sunday is All Things Fantasy Grounds talk show, and this Sunday is Diablo Bob, where we're revisiting portals and token stacking, and he's got a whole
Yay!
new redux of the what does that say? Rob Army life stories you can live by. Yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
Celestian.
I like it.
Um, all right, is that it, Robin? Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
We're
You
done.
all
Okay.
stay crazy.
In that case, good gaming, everyone.